welcome to a continuing interview session in the series of interviewing our pioneers at Florida Tech. And with us today is one of the heroes, one of the founders of the university, Mr. Hank Hughes. Hank, welcome.
Thank you.
Hank, tell us a little bit about what brought you here.
Oh, Jesus, been many a moon ago. Anyway, I worked for Bob Nelson's Landscaping. And Dr. Cooper, Perry Clendenin, and a few of the other people that came up there. Their crane broke here to planted the trees. So he came up to Bob Nelson's and asked Bob Nelson if he could plant some trees for us, which was in University Medium Script right there. And Bob said, yeah, we'll rent it to you, which it was very low at that time. And I got to run it. So I come down and was planting the trees. And Jack Thompson was already here, been here for 3 months, and so they liked my work. And so about 3 weeks later, Perry and Dr. Cooper showed back up at the nursery again. And he said, Hank, we like the way you work. He said, would you consider coming to FIT? And I said, well, I'll consider it because, you know, they didn't pay that much. It was like $2.25 an hour then. It was cheap. And
Hank, how long ago was that?
It was 1969.
About 39 years ago.
Yeah, come September, will be 39 years ago.
From 1969, Hank, as you look through the years to now, you've seen a lot of the history pass.
Oh, yeah.
For you, what sticks out in your mind?
Oh, my dealings with Dr. Cooper. Yeah, I used to drive him a lot of places. I used to drive the Greyhound. I'd take him to Miami to go to Columbia and go back a week later and pick him up. And Dr. Cooper was very special to this whole university. He's a founder and he's a godfather of it. Everybody here loved him and Mrs. Cooper, and the kids, of course, Melanie and the other kid. And it's just, he'd come out there and it was family. He'd come and if you're pulling weeds, he'd pull weeds. If you're mulching, he'd mulch. Just to show you he can do it. And run a tractor, truck, didn't matter, loader. He would fit in one way or the other. And it's very pleasure having a guy like that. You know, you felt like family. So, no, we enjoyed the hell out of him. We really did.
Hank, in your mind over the years, when in your dealings with President Cooper, I imagine there are a number of stories that stick out in your mind. Would you be willing to share as many as you might like?
Oh, we don't have enough time. I mean, I can run into it tomorrow. There's several of them. The one about, I used to take him everywhere. I took him to Columbia, or to Miami, to the airport, and he took the plane over to Columbia. Well, while he was there, his back went out. So when I would go to pick him up, I'd park the bus in front of the terminal, let it cool off so there's 50-some people comes back with him. His back went out while he was over there. And I'm in the airport looking for him. And I hear somebody hollering my name, but I can't find him. And Dr. Cooper's laying against the wall, fully stretched out, waiting for me to walk by so he can yell at me. So he yelled at me. I said, Doc, what's the matter? And he said, my back went out on me. I had to literally carry him through that terminal to that bus in my arms. I mean, he was in pain. That's one. Now, there's several hundred, but. And the other one is, I'll say about the Cadillac deal. That's pretty memory. We took him to Gainesville, I did. And he's changing clothes in the back seat like he always does. Puts his little bow tie on. And I'm running 90 miles an hour. And I said, Doc, we're going to get caught. He said, don't worry about it. So, lo and behold, we got caught. And the trooper pulled us over, and he said, you're speeding. And I said, yes, sir, I am. I said, Dr. Cooper, I got the president of Florida Tech in here. I said, we're a little late for a meeting. He said, I ain't going to help you a bit. So Doc said, took you over. He opened the back door and come out. Got the cop over near the front of the car and said something to him, and he let us go. I don't know what it was to this day, and Doc never would tell me. but he let us go. But speeding ain't the answer. Anyway, we was a little bit late, but we made it. And he was a great guy to be with. He treated you like one of his family. He'd eat, I'd eat. Just one of them type of person. He was a great person. There ain't no doubt in my mind, my heart.
Hank, I can't imagine how anyone could found a university. How was the personality, the drive, the determination of President Cooper? What qualities in him allowed him to be a pioneer and found this great university?
Dr. Cooper had qualities and stuff that very few people are gifted to have. I mean, I seen him one time, he needed money for a new dorm. And he told us in the ball field right there, and it was raining when he came out there. And he said, I'm going to Tallahassee or somewhere up in there. And he says, I'm going to get some money for 3 new dorms. Well, I thought he was kidding. But when he come back, he got the grant to build the dorms at Southgate. He was gifted for that drive. He was on a drive, and he drove it. And he wouldn't take no for an answer. But it was just, it was different. It's beautiful today. It's really growed over the years. But I know Doc looks at it every night, but you know what I'm saying.
I do.
It ain't the same without him, but we can't have him back. We just got to look forward to meeting him one day. Mm-hmm. So it's good.
Hank, if you were looking 50 years out, and hopefully we'll see each other here for another 50th or 100th
39.
Anniversary. Let's hope for that.
Okay.
If you were looking out in the future and you wanted to tell people about your memories, about how special this place was, what would you say?
Oh, it's hard to put that into words, all them memories. But it's a beautiful place. There's some awful good people here. This place would sink without the people here, and they're lovely people. And since I'm one of the oldest, I know everyone and most of the students from year to year until they graduate. And a lot of the kids, I congratulate them and hope them the very best of luck and don't forget about us. But it's a terrific place. And I tell my grandkids, I got 3 very special grandkids, one 19, one 7, and one 2. And I tell them about stuff that happened. And my oldest one, which is Sean said, Grandpa, you really did all of that? And I said, we really did all of that.
Hank, other names. Are there other names in your memory from early on that you might like to share?
Perry Quindenon, John Simmons, Dr. Miller. Oh, there's another co-leader right there, Dr. Miller. I talk a little bit on him, Dr.
Please,
Miller. Yeah.
Please.
Dr. Miller was a gentleman, like Dr. Cooper. Some people might differ from me a little bit if I say Dr. Cooper trained him. But Dr. Miller was a gentleman along with Dr. Cooper. He was a fine person. And he was vice president of the university. I mean, I knowed him for years, and he was a heck of a guy. And then we lost him. He passed away too. But there's a lot of good people here. Some that's done retired and some that's still here. Dr. K and all of them people, they're fine people. It's just a different time zone. There's nothing wrong with them people, and he's doing a fine job. I told him at last graduation, shook his hand and told him he's doing a good job.
Hank, any other comments that you might like to make? What would you like to say to have recorded for posterity and that will go into the archives permanently? Any final thoughts?
Fun thoughts?
Fun thoughts.
Yeah, there are a lot of fun thoughts. Let me see. Talk about Mrs. Galvin for a minute.
Please.
Dr. Cooper sent us to Fairchild's Gardens in Miami to get a tree. This tree was 35 feet long. So we got the tree. We got it on the trailer, so we're running late in the day. Well, who knows that you need lights on the back of a rig that long in the end of a tree after dark going down the interstate? So we got stopped by the finest state trooper. He said, gentlemen, you got to put a light on that or you got to park it till daylight because no one can see it, even though we had an escort behind us, which was just a regular truck. Okay. So, Mrs. Galvin, Dr. Cooper's personal secretary and a God gift from everybody. We called her. She was home late in the evening. Mrs. Galvin says, put that officer on the phone. Put that officer on the phone, and he escorted us off the turnpike. Now, is that the hammer of the operation or what? There's just tons of them, Ken, that I could tell you about for days. But these people had a way of getting things done the old-fashioned way. I mean, it's not like flip them $50 and you're done. It's just, I don't know, word of mouth goes a long ways. It's good.
And it sounds like for President Cooper, there was no job too big and no job too small.
Never, never. Like the wooden bridge we put across from the jungle, across from Shepherd Building. It runs from a library to Fruhoff parking lot. In late 70s, we went over to the sawmill in Orlando and cut the lumber up from the sawmill and brought it over here and built that bridge. And Dr. Cooper was out there driving nails. Can you believe that?
No.
With his little bow tie on, out there driving nails. He did so much. And we had to take tobacco and go down in the swamp and dig it to put concrete pads down there. He'd take his shoes, go right down in there with us. I mean, come on. He wanted to be a part of everything we did or close by. And he did, and he did.
Well, Hank, thank you for everything you've done.
Well, you're welcome.
I doubt, Hank, the university would be what it is today without your efforts. You've always demonstrated that you've gone over and beyond, and your commitment is something that you've felt.
Well, I just do my job, and the environment is great. So if you like what you're doing, it goes by pretty easy. And I like what I'm doing, and the people here, you know, I could say it all night. You can't beat the people. And the students, I help the students all I can because they help us. They're our paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Without the kids, we wouldn't have a job. And all the kids, we even have work study students work with us even now. Even back when we was doing the jungle, we had work study students. I get along with everybody. I've never had a bad run-in with nobody. And it's a good relationship you have with people that make that.
Well, Hank, thank you for coming in. Thank
you're
you
welcome,
for expressing your thoughts. And
I have millions more, but I got one more. Can I have one more for the road?
please, would you please?
Dr. Cooper was an MG lover. Okay? He loved MGs. So he had one he was working on. And he had the frame and everything down this big basement I'm telling you about. And he takes the motor. We go over and take the motor out of the MG in the bottom of the basement, carry it up, put it in the trunk of his car, and he's going to take it to Jacksonville to have it rebored so he can put it back together and it'll run beautiful. Well, guess what? He gets past Daytona Beach and he says, wow, I got the wrong motor. So he calls up and he says, got a hold of the guy in the charger mechanic shop over, and he says, you got to get a hold of Hank right away. And what do you need Hank for? He says, I brought the wrong motor and I'm past Daytona Beach up here with the wrong motor in the car. Tell Hank, go to the basement, get the other motor and bring it up here. I did. And when Doc says, just got the motor now? I said, got the motor now. He says, I'll get you some help to get it out of the trunk. So I reach in the trunk and get it and set the old one out, put the one out of the car I took up there, back in, and he says, how much can you pick up? I said, around 300 pounds. Amazing, amazing. But he was right there helping me get all greasy and stuff. It's good.
Hank, do you have any remembrances on how the Cooper house came to be? The materials, where did the materials come from?
He ordered them from someone. It's like cypress or close to it. It's good wood because it's all open ceiling. And that wood's exposed all the time. When you look at it, that's what you see. Mm-hmm. He never covered it. And yeah, we helped him build it, helped him put it together.
Do you remember where the bricks came from?
Yeah, they come out of Georgia. Some big building got tore down, and he sent up there and got them, brought them back by the trailer load. And we had to clean the most of them so we could relay them. They're used brick to start with. I got some of them as a memory.
Good for you.
Dr. Patterson helped me out. I got called a few months ago on that. He had a circle drive, he had a motorhome, and he wasn't very good at backing it up. So we put him a circle driveway in so he wouldn't have to. Okay, now the people that owned that want to make a concrete circle driveway, and the city rejected them. So I was going to do an affidavit, but the guy believed me and let him do it. That we put that thing in over 35 years ago, so it's well past grandfathered in.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, there's some good memories of him.
Well, Hank, thank you.
You're welcome, Ken.
Thank you.
You're welcome.